too much light. Hello. Welcome to the Word of the Week. It is Sunday. So it's the last day of the week, but still, the Word of the Week is healing. And I added transformative. Also, the second week is insight. Talking what is inside. Well, I am tackling few issues at the same time. As usual. It's like nothing changes really, giving you problems, and people are not really uniting. And one must consider what is possible for the work to come to another stage, which is more for the communal senses of certain people. There are some academics that are fighting, scientists who are pulling their hairs, trying to insult and diminish even Newton, who was the father and founder of time-space. Newton. And they're calling headphones cheap compared to other dimensions and level, and they're putting centimeters, and they are calling names and last names and putting all these words there, and then saying Nobel Prize, I have collaborated, and putting titles to doctors and all these things. Like, because I got, when he was confessing, he didn't say it textually, but if you take that to court, you can judge him for being a thief. That is not his theory. And that's why he's putting so much there, to make it sound like he's the greatest of all times. GOAT. When it's just having, because people in multimedia or influencers, they don't know about science. Yeah, some listen to it, but they don't want to fight. They have a guest because they hear, they know. Some of them are scientists themselves, and some of them read a lot. They don't want to go into a strong argumentation because who cares? They didn't get any formula. They didn't have any respect towards anyone to get there. So it matters so much for some people to be remembered in the future because they know they're not going to get any money and they're fighting to get a Nobel Prize, to be remembered. And that is transformative, as to be immortalized throughout history. This is why many people fought till death, as Achilles and many warriors. They would transform their life and give it to fight, to be immortal, remembered throughout history. Also Jesus. I mean, so there were stories that would be told and told from mouth to mouth, and people wanted to be remembered by these stories. And that is a power that some seek, which is stronger than sex, money, alcohol, drugs, and even fighting for your own country or a cause. Good cause. Some will fight to be just remembered and lie and copy. Then there is this other scientists, because we are the novelty because we have the novelty because we have the words, because we make the books. Like, I have already enough. I knew I was going to deal with problems. I was born yesterday among people that don't know anything about this sort of things. So there's a simple life that one has, and when one tries to simply put the water with the watercolors and brush the pencil to remember those strokes and spots in the very thin paper from Japan, and to remain present. What is one do? What is one doing anyways? When I am the one who came here with all these conversations, also about dimensions. Now they're talking in ways they've never talked before, because if I take you to trial and show you, when did you start talking like that? Since the day you met me? Or you heard about me? Or they told you to do so? But behind me, there are role players that have so much experience and some social status that does not even care about winning a Nobel Prize. Scientists are like, pieces of sand grain to walk over with, and they don't care about those things. The problem and the fact of the problem is that everyone keeps doing these behaviors of copying and fighting and copying and fighting. And it's just like in the times of Jesus and before Jesus with Socrates. Not much evolution as to say we made it, really. So this is how virtual reality is working. Of course it is real. If I slap you right now, it will hurt you. As much as it's that I slap you in virtual reality, or more. Because other people might be watching, and you will feel it on your guts, on your heartbeat, with all the tissue of virtual reality that we are sharing, that might be as a dream or simulated, yet is real. And there are many realities and spaces. You don't get the first one, the second, the third, the fourth. You might never get the 30,000 you claim to have reached. 30,000 dimension, and they came to the 3.5 millimeters. Gosh. And you like, imagine if I go and have an intellectual debate with this person and ruin his career in the public domain. Just like that. Is there a cause and effect? Probably some people are asking to be slapped in the public domain. So anyways, it would be nice to share in a way where you are sharing information that we are dealing to move something that is incredible, and you should feel successful to belong, to be part from whatever you get paid or not, or would be paid for it. But that you're doing it for money sucks. that you're doing it to be renowned throughout time sucks because you didn't make it. You're just copying everyone and trying to make up something that's yours when it's not. At least you're going out there and talking to people that kind of open their eyes and think in other ways. Reality exists throughout time, space, and there are many realities, as many intelligences can be. And that I have said so as well. But there is nothing new that there are many of many kinds. So, anyways, what is the meaning of all this fighting? To be the one that you have discovered because you're gonna write your second book to get a Nobel Prize. There is a reality that is shared throughout the screen, and that might be print and color on a photograph, but is recognized as a car. These four, we share the reality of reading a magazine with a picture of a car. So we do have the visual reality of the print of a picture and the reading in blank ink. So what you call that is not real because there are pixels in the screen is like saying that person you're looking in the mirror is not real because you are looking at the mirror. So you're not real. Of course, particles disappear because who wants to be seen by people like you? To be detected. Stop being. That's why privacy is so important. Because you stop being intelligent. People are watching you. You stop dancing like a real dancer would. Not a show off. That's why in virtual reality, one has to be anonymous. It will never work. Okay, you might be tracked if you are a pedophile and a terrorist and are a threat to society. That's it. But for the rest, no. Because one would never role play or dive into a virtual reality that is shared as the only truth in that moment, that is visually and with all the senses shared, more or less all the senses. Because we might feel it on the skin, but nobody touched us, but it touched us virtually. And spiritually as well, because there is a psychic that is shared throughout time, space, in an alter realm that we share. So the next week on Monday will be the week of new, and that which is cover the constructs. So today is still closing with healing that is transformative towards the new. That will be the sequence. Because you're not a fetus, you are not in your mother's belly. You had passed through the sequence of being birthed. You were a baby, as I was a baby with my mama and child, and all those transits through life and changes of time space have brought us now together thanks to that screen. You don't know anything about what you're talking about. Besides the 500 kilo of real life paper I had sent to Bill Gates. So, what is the problem with Russell? Russell. Russo. Present yourself, Russo. 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 Brent. Oh. Oh, I really don't care what people do in their private life or how they do it or if they did was wrong or right. Because I don't know why these women that are accusing him chose the pseudonyms of Alice and Nadia. Because that's the name of my daughter and my spiritual mother. I'm like, Sophia was okay, but Alice and Nadia? So I cannot advocate for that. That's too close to me. I mean, what did this woman come before, anyways? I mean, I don't believe that is true. Because Russo doesn't look like a person that needs to do that. And I don't imagine him going the type of men that do that normally are very rich, and they really think that you like them. I have jumped out of a car. I have tried to jump out of a car. This guy had so many cars in Ibiza. A rich guy from Germany, and he was gonna stop me in Ibiza. So, and I didn't want to go to his house. And I said, "Look, I am not. I live in Ibiza. Okay, I know this is not the route." And he really thought he was really cool and handsome, and he was okay, but I was not in love with him. Like, just because you're dancing doesn't mean that you're friendly. And of course, I was young. I was a teenager between my 20s and 17. I know, or 16. It doesn't matter. I was not stupid. I knew very well what was going on. But so he didn't do anything because I was going to jump out of the car. I opened the door. And I have 1,000 million stories like that. They are not really like no one rates me. But there was, I was very, many stories where there was a lot of tension where I had to get out. And I didn't like it. But many. They didn't need to do such things. They were very rich and handsome as well. I would just call it handsome, but I said, but I'm not in love. I need to be in love at that time. Because before I thought that one has to be in love, right? Later on, I understood that love doesn't really exist as one thinks it exists with the majority of men. So some, because grow up very religious and they have to follow facade to make believe they are acceptable. So they are likable by their society and they own an image. People like them and will do agreements because of that image, whatever. Because of the Christian religion as well. And in other religions too, they share the same thing. But and some man might be really in love with their woman, even if they become to be friends and transform through the times. Just become like, not very excited, I guess. about meeting someone. You have to imagine Russell. I think he was like I was, very open-minded, experimental, trying everything. I don't really think he's that tantric. I think that's a pseudo to get his character away with. He might have got away with some, but I don't think he's really what he claims to be. Because I have thought Tantra. And the way he speaks as well is very psychotic. Not psychotic, but kind of like. I like to listen to him because he reports news, but then I have to filter it out because I think Bill Gates is great that he's doing meat that is not from real animals. I've been always thinking that will come out. My father thought that people are intelligent enough to make it from laboratories and animals will need to suffer, etc., etc. So I do get news from him. That's where I go to listen to some news, but I just find it too grotesque because his voice, and it's like he wants to do scandal, scandal. It's like always like he's shouting, and that's not a tantric person. I lived in India 3 years and being assistant of therapy for 13 years. And I've experienced Tantra with many people as to say that we are born with it. So it can come with any voice or way of being, I guess. And it's his way to get many viewers because people love to hate somebody. Whatever it is, it still doesn't. For another extent, I thought, okay, look, Bill Gates, you have all these people that like you, okay? So as everyone has people that like you, there's some people that will hate you. Elon Musk, I could be in love with Elon Musk, but I'm not gonna say, look, Elon Musk was also for, some woman, I think she was like working the airplane or airline, and he, I don't know, all these things, that are crossing boundaries. That I wouldn't call it rape, but they're sort of like, I wish I was in that, I wasn't in that situation, that it is okay because it is like, well, I want to have fun and I want to be free and I want to walk in the night. And if I have to break a bottle to protect myself, I will. But I'm not going to be here in closed doors, which eventually you end up locking yourself up, not having to deal with never dance again. Drinking water, just drinking, not even being an alcoholic or drug addict, but still there is a misunderstanding per se, because maybe you were with that girl, I was 16. Well, 16 in Europe is legal, and well, he was 23, same age really. So, well, I don't know. Just find him pretty annoying as to being a person that is divisive and is not really wanting to bring a natural